We just got to keep ripping pieces off till we can identify. Nice work, Dan. That'll give us an answer right there. We may have found Leslie's vehicle.
He said when he came home one day, she was sitting on the couch, catatonic, staring at the TV, and when he looked to see what she was watching, it was just static.
So for me personally, coming back to I think that a lot of this is just a coincidence, and that because the vehicle is missing, I feel like she's still in the water in the area somewhere.
This is the first time we get to try out the new Proton 5 J.W. Fisher magnetometer that we picked up a few days ago.
Well, I wish I had better answers today for you.
I know.
But we have ruled, several locations out, like you said. You no longer have to look down there and, wonder.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good thing.
Not even 6 a.m. We're getting an early start this morning as we're looking for the Guthrie family. We're looking for 29-year-old Leslie, her 2 children, Timothy, who was 3, as well as her daughter, Julie, who was just 6 years old at the time. The vehicle in question that we're looking for is a 1974 300 edition Ford Maverick, license plate number 636WNA. We've already put in 2 days of searching, looking for the Guthries. If you've missed either one of those episodes, check out the 2 links in the description down below. We have no idea what happened to Leslie. We know it was February 5th. We know that there was snow, slush, and ice. Was it nothing more than an accident? Or did something have to do with the upcoming divorce to where Leslie decided to leave? Did she take her family somewhere else? Is Leslie still out there? We don't have those answers, but what we are going to do, we're going to step back into this case today, and we're going to give Leslie's family answers as to where she is or she is not. We're going to go ahead and get started and see what we can do to find Leslie and her 2 kids today.
For families who have all but given up on finding their loved ones, this team is a last hope. Civilian divers cracking cold cases for free.
Yesterday's search, we really focused on the on-ramps up here in Katonah, off of 35 and Cherry. We cleared all those locations, and unfortunately, we were not able to find the Guthries. So this is where we come into it with this new information of Billy that we didn't find out about until yesterday from Jennifer.
So she called Uncle Billy, who was working at the Air National Guard at Westchester County Airport.
Leslie called
Yes.
Uncle Billy. Okay.
That was her
That's
uncle.
the last, and that was the last call anyone has heard
got,
from.
and
She put the call into the guard unit. Someone else answered. She was looking for
Uncle Billy.
Right.
It wasn't there. Okay, so then we started to think, well, if she was trying to get a hold of him, she probably wasn't going to McDonald's and she probably wasn't going to movies. Why was she calling Uncle Billy? He lives in Mount Kisco on this Crowhill Road, which unfortunately is exactly what we just spoke about, that Route 100, all the way down.
So I asked my mother-in-law how would
This is where you were this morning.
Right.
She would have
If
driven
we did
down.
go down 100.
Because there's a lot of water.
There's a lot of water
there.
That's what we were.
And then that's the lady's house. Right there. But the police have the records that day she called. So
Let's focus on this
Yep,
one today, so
that's
that way we can
fine.
all mark this one off,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow, if we don't find anything here,
yeah,
we can focus on
right.
100 tomorrow all the way down.
if you have time. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, we'll make time for 100 tomorrow.
for
All right.
All right.
Awesome.
That kind of brings you up to speed as to who Billy is, why we're over here on Route 100, and then making a left on Crow over the bridge with the hopefulness of somewhere along this route we might find Leslie and the kids. And I just have a target over here I want to check out. I'll show you what I'm looking at on side scan as we come back over it here. The object I was looking at was off to the right, but it appeared to be too shallow, or not big enough. We're still in 7.5 feet of water. Yeah, that's not big enough for a vehicle. And those were just rocks right there. And then there was one more, that's a rock here. Anyway, the way of, if you've never seen our sonar before and the way that it reads, this right here is what we reference as our side scan. We're casting 75 feet to the left, 75 feet to the right. Anything that you see down the middle here or up on top is water column. Now this is a picture in time, so we can actually go back and we can see if we missed anything. We can zoom in on it and check that out. Over here is our live scope. This is actually what's happening in real time, so if a fish swims by, you'll be able to see the fish swim by immediately. So picture in time, real time. Right off of 100, easy reading. It's 20 feet deep, so it's plenty deep. This right here, if you're reading sonar with us, this is actually above the shoreline, so we can't see above that. And this is going to be the rock for the causeway here coming into the water, and then this is going to be the actual bottom of it, the water directly underneath the boat, and then everything off to the left. So it almost appears as though this is an old highway and bridge that we're coming up to up here. I say this is before Leslie went missing, in my opinion, but I'm not sure. You have the telephone poles, so old single lane road bridge. So you have the telephone poles on both sides of the road there, if you look at it, and you start to put it together. We have a car in here. We might have 2 cars in here. Right over here. Let me show you. 2 cars there. Older than the smokes. Old cars. Either one of those could be Leslie and the kids. Right off this old bridge here. Yeah, 1977. There's like an old ramp there, but right underneath this bridge here. 2 cars upside down, I believe. That might be right side up, it's just really, really old. Holy frick. All right, that one appears to be upside down. That one appears to be upside down. Let me back up again. And it's like dead center straight out is where it's at. All right, let's see where the second one's at. Second one, I think, is closer to shore there. Yep, second one is right below us right now. And upside down, so they just need to come straight off the wall right here. We just found 2 cars that are super old, period. This is not an accident, period. This would either be on purpose as a murder or a dump, period. if this is Leslie and the kids, period. All right, let's see if we can actually climb up through here. We can get the boat out and so the question is, if we have two vehicles off the end of this, when did they actually put this barrier up to keep people from going in there? Yeah, one off the dead center, 6 to 8 feet out. One off the right hand side, 6 to 8 feet out. You got a fence on that side. Wasn't even on your radar here, was it?
No, I didn't know that bridge was even there.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Two old vehicles down there.
Yeah. Yeah, the sonar reading matches the timeline for sure.
We drive that.
Yeah, thanks.
But that bridge we were on yesterday looks like a similar structure.
Hey, Dan. So we'll have you and Nick suit up.
How deep are they?
15 to 17 feet. And they're right off the wall. Like you just come straight down the wall and it's 6 feet right there.
Okay. And what makes you think this would have been an on purpose thing?
This is not off of a bridge. This is off of a bridge, off of an old route bridge.
But so you think this was demoed pre-1977?
I think so, because of where the vehicles are at.
Do we have any way of looking up?
My map doesn't go back that far.
Or it could have been an accident that they thought it was still there?
I don't think so. I mean, it's in the afternoon. It's not dark.
Secluded.
Well, we're about to find out.
What can you tell us about this bridge in this location?
What can I tell you about it?
Like,
Well, there's a farm down here,
The Muscoot Farm.
Muscoot Farm, where everybody takes their kids, to go and they can pick apples. Well, in February they wouldn't have done any of that though.
Be speaking.
do you know when this road and this bridge closed down?
That I can't tell you about. I didn't even know this
Been around.
road
Okay.
until we
One of the
came here
guys.
today. I didn't know it. I figured it was like Public Works or something.
Right, yeah, Public Works on the south side of it for sure. So the way that the vehicles are in there, they could have come off either side because it's not that big of a gap. So if they would have come off this side, they could have floated for a moment, flipped over and sunk. If they came off the other side, they could have just gone straight down, flipped over and sunk.
This isn't old 100, is it?
I believe it's old 100.
Oh,
100.
oh.
Could that be? Yeah.
But I don't know how far back that would have gone.
Yeah.
I don't remember going this way, to tell you the truth. I only remember going in front of Muscoot.
Okay.
So I can't
On
tell
Route
you
100.
when.
So Route
yeah,
100 was here in '77. That was
yeah,
here.
that other road was there in '77.
My feeling is we're no longer looking at an accident. Doesn't mean it wasn't, what was the road like, and is this the road that she may have taken in the past, and was it snowing, how much slush or snow, was she confused? We have the reports of her sitting in front of the, just staring off into the blank TV with static going.
Could have been
So everything is on the table. We don't know. Our mission also is not to figure out, the how.
Right.
Our mission is just simply figure out the where. And then, the family and law enforcement, everybody can, take it from there. If this is not, we'll have 1 million people that will be watching the episode, and if Leslie, if you're out there with the kids, nobody's mad, come say hi to your family, and
Yeah.
You know, give your sister a hug. You know, never too late to
absolutely.
mend the past, you know. Let me get back over it for you. Right here, if you drop down straight here, you're gonna land straight on top of it. It's upside down.
Okay, see you in a bit. I'll talk to you.
So there's our divers. They're both at the very bottom. There they are.
Okay, I feel a tire, but I can't really see anything yet. The visibility's kind of bad. Okay, I see the side. I'm working my way around it, trying to figure out what side of the vehicle I'm on. I'm at what appears to be the rear of the vehicle, and the license plate is missing. Visibility gets real bad, it silts up real quick. I'm staying close to the vehicle, working my way around, trying to see any other signs.
You can see I'm directly on it.
Another tire trying to find an emblem, but it's pretty rusted and corroded and covered in silt. It's real hard to tell what anything is. The top of the vehicle is buried in silt all the way past the doorknobs. That vehicle is buried deep. It's hard to tell what it is. I'll come back to it, let the silt settle. We may have to come to the surface first. Try to find that second vehicle. The visibility is pretty bad down here. I think there's some sort of catfish or something that keeps swimming away, stirring it up.
Not yet identified?
Buried past the door handle. I lost it.
Okay.
So you can't even see.
2-door, 4-door? Could you tell?
I can't even tell, and it's kind of at an angle.
All right.
Plus that vehicle's just super rusted.
Right.
And
Any hubcaps on the wheels?
what's that?
Any hubcaps on the wheels?
Yeah, there's rusted. No, not hubcaps, it's like spokes kind of. It's this on the back of the vehicle, and I pulled it off. Each in that pocket, there's a little envelope about the top. About the size of a 50-cent piece, I think it's plastic.
A 128.
Yeah, I don't know what that maybe. That's the only thing that I could see on anywhere on the vehicle that would give me any.
Where did this come off of?
The back of the vehicle.
Okay. I'll look it up on the Ford Maverick and see.
But and it has a sticky back, like maybe it was somebody's personal thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing. We'll go down on the second car now.
Okay. So where's the second car? That way?
Straight out from where we're at right here.
Okay. I'll try to keep up with you.
And made contact with the second vehicle. Again, super dark, terrible viz, old and rusty. I'll try to make my way around it, find any sign of what kind of vehicle this is.
Yeah, check for like any removable hubcaps or any emblems along the side panels.
It does appear to have hubcaps, at least one or two. I'll try to remove one. They're pretty dented. This vehicle also appears to be upside down and even possibly older than the last one and farther in the silt. Dan was able to pull a hubcap. We're gonna go to the top with the hubcap, then come back down. Look at the other side. Mercury.
All right. Can you get to the bumper at all? The rear bumper?
Did you see the bumper at all? It's pretty bad down there. Like it's sitting in the silt like that deep almost.
Okay. Does the other one have hubcaps at all?
Alloy, aluminum rims. Alloy.
Okay. Were you able to make out what kind?
Five stroke.
Like that style?
Yeah,
You think so?
that's it. That's what it looks like.
On the first one?
Well, the first one.
See if you can identify five lug nuts
Yep.
and 5 rounded.
Yep.
This is a barn find here. Barn find means it's never been changed. It's original.
90% sure.
Okay. See if it also has like the little nub that sticks out
Yep.
from the middle.
So show me again one last time.
Yep. 5 lugs, 5 stars, and probably this far sticking out for the center.
Let me confirm, but I think that's it.
Okay. So we're looking to identify, is it the 5 lugs with 5 holes, kind of rounded, and does it have the piece that sticks out as well? If it does, then we may have found Leslie's vehicle.
Seven holes.
7 holes?
Yeah, I'll go down and have another look.
Okay.
And no center cap.
No center cap, okay. And the thing is these 300s, they have lots of different wheels on them, so it's not out of the question.
This is the license plate. It's newer than a 1977, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, let me look up the trunk on that.
Okay.
I'm going to look up the trunk on the Maverick and see. All right, so this one, yeah, so this one is not our vehicle. Based on the rear license plate holder there,
Okay.
the rear of the Ford Maverick is embedded in the bumper.
Okay, yeah. I tried to pull the bumper. It's not moving anyway. But this wasn't attached to the bumper.
It was not?
It was like above it.
Yeah, we're on the back of the trunk, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We know based upon what we have, this one's not.
Okay.
Let's get a little more information on the other one though, if we can. Yeah, so all of these Mavericks, where the bumper is at, they're embedded in the bumper, and it doesn't have the plastic pieces around it. Also, he said it was a 7 or 8 spoke versus a 5 that we're looking for. But we don't have pictures of the actual car either that I know of. We just know that it was. So that's the same hubcap. Mercury also? Thank you. That's a different hubcap. This might be what we're looking for here. Hold on. Because what if the hubcap came off?
It's white.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep ripping pieces off, and it might be what we're looking for. So that's going to be the wheel well right there. So this is a trim piece. And it's attached to the car. So this is the car underneath, which is white. Barn find 1974. Trim piece, that trim piece is wider than what we have here. Now, what we're looking for is right above the wheel here. So we can't tell on that one. Yeah, we just got to keep ripping pieces off till we can identify.
It's possible that the fuel fill-up point is behind the number plate.
I think it.
Whatever's facing that way,
Yeah.
is what I'm on at the moment.
Yeah, that's the rear.
Well, that's the rear.
Yeah.
So that's the fuel fill-up point. get maybe 1 or 2 more down.
Okay. Yeah, and I think the gas tank thing is at the back, where the cap is at. That's how it was on these Fords. Yep, right there. Oh, that'll help a lot. Rear or front?
That's the rear.
That's off the rear?
Off the rear.
All right, that should take and answer some questions.
I've done that.
Yeah.
That's sure.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. You worked hard on that one. Nice work, Dan. That'll give us an answer right there. Yeah, we got part numbers on here, so we should be able to tell exactly what that came off of.
It's still down there?
No, Nick's back at the shore.
Oh.
STIAR. All right, this. Le Mans. All right, this does not appear to be off of a Ford on this one. All right. So 1970 is what this one's off of. So it's part of the bumper and the taillight section. So we were hopeful because we were pulling some of these parts off of here, which was white in color.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that started to give some hope. But right off the bat though, we pulled the Mercury hub. But then, you know, you can't rule that out because, you know, what if, you know, she ended up losing a hub and so she decided to replace it. So when we pulled up the second hub and the second hub doesn't match the first hub, you know, it.
Can I see the other side of it? Wow, okay.
And there's no markings on this one. So then Dan went back down and started pulling more pieces. I mean, he definitely struggled on it.
Yeah.
So it did end up getting that. Now, coming back to this other vehicle, the reason why, you know, we're currently, this is made in Italy. So, I mean, I'm going to say that other car is not for a couple reasons. One, that's made in Italy, and that doesn't match the Maverick. The Maverick has the rear license plate built into the bumper. Plus, where this was at also would be the gas, I believe, on the Maverick was at the very back on those Fords during the 74, 76 you know, period.
But like behind the, or left or right of the plate or behind the plate.
Yeah, which is where before we brought this up, we were hopeful because Dan ended up pulling up the, that was at the center in the back for where the gas goes in.
Those look like 2 different hubcaps there.
Yeah, and they were also different size. So that's, I was really surprised they pulled them off of the...
Off the same vehicle?
Off the same vehicle.
That's really weird. Somebody have just winged it off. Like...
Well, let's find out in a moment here. So Pontiac. So Pontiac Motor Division is what that car is. So the part number off of this, the Guide 25 SAE Star P170, gives us a 1970 Pontiac Le Mans.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Do you still have that 128 or that little emblem that I pulled off the first vehicle?
Yeah, we have that as well.
This was on the first. Does it look familiar to possibly something that doesn't look like it's from the factory? It almost looks like just
128.
Oh,
the
128.
sticker on the back.
Yeah. Different than this car. So the Pontiac Le Mans is there. This one was with this one.
Yeah.
And that's the made in Italy.
Yeah, and this is made in Italy.
It looks like somebody put that on there after the fact as like a little.
Okay.
I don't know though.
Huh.
All right, so this is a Fiat 850 128 La Banca Coupe Sedan license plate mounting panel.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, you were able to find a number off of it?
Yeah.
Wow. So what does that car look like?
That would explain why there's no front end on it.
And it's shorter
Oh, yeah.
and buried more. We definitely gave it a good effort on this time.
Oh yeah.
And so what I would like to do is, put this back on our list again for, next year when we're back in the New York area. And, we can revisit it, check out some more spots. And,
Oh my goodness.
we have a lot more waterways.
Right there.
And, it's not done. I mean, she's not been found, but I think that also, what if, like we were talking earlier, what if Leslie and, the kids are still out there? And that's where, again, we want to put that message out to, Leslie, if you are out there and you are seeing this, bring the cousins back together, and, come see your sister before it's too late. And, what, like you said, whatever may have been, for whatever reason she left, it doesn't matter. She didn't do anything illegal other than keep the kids from Timothy over the years. But nobody's going to put her in prison for it. At this
Big
point.
on family.
Yeah, so definitely come be a part of the family.
And we don't have a big family either. Yeah, that was my sister and myself.
Yeah.
But
we were able to identify, a couple cars that nobody knew about in the water here. Between now and then, though, again, put together any ideas. We're going to have more viewers that are going to be reaching out to us, and here's some more areas that you and your team need to search. And again, anything that's within your gut that says, hey, please check here.
Yeah.
I'm ruling the pond out next to your house right now. It's just too far off, and there's only one way that she could have gone on right there off of Lakeside.
Yeah.
And it's just
Everybody would have seen it.
yeah,
too.
because it was shallower on that side than it would have been on the other side.
Okay.
And in us looking at the foliage yesterday, if she would have come off Grandview, she just doesn't have the speed to come through all those trees to cover that amount of distance. Even if there was a drop off there,
Okay.
she, in my heart, she's not in there.
Okay. Okay.
Mike, hey, nice meeting you. Stephanie,
oh, thank you so much.
you're welcome. I wish I had better answers for you.
Oh, listen, as we say,
Yeah.
thank you for
We really feel like
looking at
we've
it
done
and-
everything now.
Yeah, the coverage, is incredible. As you were saying, a lot of people are going to see this, and maybe it will,
If they're out there,
hopefully
they contact us.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Jennifer, nice
Thank
meeting you.
you so much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Thank you so much,
guys do
Nick.
for everybody.
Really,
I
all
know.
your
Thank you
efforts.
so much.
all your efforts.
Thank you. Have a good day.